Hello everyone, it's Moonkin FTW back with another episode of the RCT3 Coaster Challenge. And in this episode we're tackling the rotating tower coaster. It's a very odd design, and this is actually one of my favorite designs in terms of the track layout, and you'll see that in just a bit. So the idea is you go up this kind of tower, it rotates you either 45 degrees or 90 degrees, and then you drop down. And you can do this multiple times. And I wanted to incorporate two 45-degree turns, and then it drops you down. So you have four kind of tracks on one tower. And this rotating tower coaster, I believe it has the same options as the looping coaster, which actually has some decent kind of track pieces. You have these small overbank turns that you can use. You got corkscrews, twists, looping, so you can go pretty nuts with the design of the roller coaster here. And this is pretty much what I did here. So you got the first section here that ended with a brake run, and now we're going to the second section where I'm going to have this cobra roll, which I thought would be really cool if it goes over the path where the guests would walk to enter the ride, and then a few other things. And it's just, in terms of layout, this is probably one of my favorite designs yet. But yeah, so that's pretty much the layout of this roller coaster. Again, because it was, apart from that rotating tower, it's again pretty much the same as the looping coaster. I was very acquainted with all the track pieces, so making a ride didn't take me a lot of time compared to, let's say, the robot coaster, which is very weird and awkward for me. So we're gonna go ahead and spend a decent amount of time on the supports. And yeah, I'm using a lot of pre-made designs. So I have a couple of pre-made designs that work really well with this roller coaster. Some don't really work that well because, you know, most of these are designed for either Intamin or B&M looking roller coasters like the Giga Coaster or the Extended Coaster. This, of course, is more, yeah, it's more like Schwarzkopf style, so it doesn't always work that well. So here you can see me kind of fidgeting around and trying to find a decent support for overbank turns. And yeah, I'm just going to save this, and now I can kind of copy paste it here and there. So there's one, and of course there's two, and I'm just going to go over the ride. So that's pretty much what we're doing now. And of course, as always, I'm using Moby Steel Jungle, and I'm using the grid section to, you know, kind of see where the supports hit the ground, because they got to be aligned, of course, with the, either they got to be right in between the squares or they got to be on the line. So then I know that the footers match it up quite well. So that's very essential right there. So yeah, we're just gonna go over this, and I was thinking about the color scheme, and originally I planned on using a white track with black supports because I used a lot of color. This time I wanted kind of like more like a yin-yang type of feel, and you'll see me changing that later in just a bit. And it's a wing to a roller coaster. Again, I know I use a lot of inspiration from RCT1 and 2, and you'll see that in just a bit. For now, we're just going to focus on the rest of the roller coaster. And again, because this is Moby Steel Jungle, the supports, making the supports, does take a decent amount of time. But because I was so excited about this coaster type and about the layout, I really wanted to do this nicely. So I could have gone the easy way and just used JCat Steelworks and not use any footers. But I was like, yeah, but I really like this roller coaster. I love the track layouts. I want to do it justice by, you know, adding using Moby Steel Jungle, adding side supports, the footers, and of course flanges everywhere. So I kind of went a little bit nuts with this roller coaster, but not necessarily in terms of theming, like the Roller Soaker, which, you know, was quite a job, or the giant flume way back in like episode 14, where, you know, I had this giant pyramid and this kind of like outdoor like temple area. This all of this time, most of the time, is sunk into the supports and kind of the roller coaster itself, if you will. So here I'm going to just go ahead and paint everything black. So this is the really like that kind of white track black support theme that I was going after, and I think it looks quite nice. But you'll see me changing that in just a little bit as we go through this. But yeah, it's pretty easy to do this. You know, I got those white pre-made supports, and here is where things get interesting. So the first section of the track is white track and black supports, and then when you go down the second section, when you drop down the second time, it's black track and white supports. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an homage to arachnophobia and claustrophobia from Diamond Heights. You know, the two black and white looping coasters from Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. That's kind of a subtle wing towards it, and I think that looks quite well. I really like this kind of yin yang kind of feel, and I think it looks awesome because I think even the track kind of resembles the looping roller coasters from Diamond Heights. It did take me some time to repaint this all, but again, I had that really cool idea. I was like, you know what, it's okay. It takes me a little bit more time, but you know, like I've said many times before in this series, I'm not in a rush. I don't need to finish this challenge by the end of this month, blah, blah, blah. I'm just having fun, and whenever inspiration hits, I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this a bit too crazy of an idea, or is this kind of doable considering my kind of limited time schedule? Because yeah, time these days is admittedly very, very limited. It's also one of the reasons why I play Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, because it's a single player game. You can just, you know, when there's like an interruption or something, you just pause it and there you go. So here I wanted to add a tunnel, and again, because these tunnels kind of add an extra layer of experience. Unfortunately, they don't quite work well for these, how do you say, these hills or whatever. And that's because these coaster trains from the rotator tower coaster are actually quite high or large, whatever you want to call it. So I ditched that idea. Now you have this kind of fly-through section with this track that goes kind of through the station. So I kind of left an open space there to kind of create this near-miss moment, if you will. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but yeah. So we got the catwalk added, we got most of the supports done, and I'm going to add a few more tunnels. So here we have one for that helix, and here we have one for the corner. Again, I don't want to do too much, but a few corners here and there should work just fine. And of course I'm going to check it to see if the train hits it, and it doesn't. So, and now that, because this is now a tunnel, I wanted to do like a small pond there with some stones, but I was like, okay, it's going to be close anyway, so just screw it, let's just do it normally. So as a staple of mine, I'm going to add some shade to the queue, and that's pretty much it. Now, because I'm such a fan of this ride, I once again decided to go nuts with BC's Path mod. So this ride as well gets the full pathing treatment. So we're going to have pathing that kind of covers, or that goes around the roller coaster, so to say, to have this really nice secluded section where the roller coaster is. And I just really like the look of it when there's like a path right next to it. You know, you can see the guests walking, and I imagine if you're walking there, you can see the roller coaster train like right next to you. I think that's a really cool feel. So I'm just going to go over this whole section with BG's Path mods. Again, it's one of my go-to add-ons. It's great for making these curved paths. The guests cannot walk on it, so underneath you still need to have the regular pathing, but yeah, it's just amazing. It transforms the paths just so much. It looks so much better. So yeah, we're almost done with the theming of this. Again, there's not much theming in terms of like, you know, oh, it's a futuristic theming, or it's an Egyptian or Wild West or something. It's just about, you know, this kind of basic theming, if you will, but it's very detailed, if you ask me personally. So of course, with the curved pathing, I also wanted to add some railings, because, you know, I wanted this to be realistic, so the guests can't just, you know, go off the path and walk up to the roller coaster. That would of course be, you know, not realistic, and it's very, very dangerous if they can. So blocking off all this with the railings. And then finally, last but not least, I'm going to add some trees here. And I decided not to add trees around this, which normally I do, but I really wanted to kind of show off, if you will, the area where the roller coaster is. So I'm also going to save it like this, and yeah, like as a pre-save design. And that's it. That's pretty much it for the rotator tower coaster. It was one design I was looking forward to building because it's so crazy, and I knew there were a decent amount of options here, but man, I really like this design. The cars are admittedly quite short, so again, for like making pure money, I don't think it's that interesting, but you know, as a design, it's really unique and really cool, because the trains also, you can either sit forward or backward, and when you go up a tower, it actually changes. So let's go ahead and ride this. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the back, because as we go up this rotator tower, you will see when we drop down, we're actually going forward. So I don't want this to be backwards, because then you guys now can see the POV a bit better, if you will. So here we go, first drop. And here we go, nice. Do a little bank turn here. I'm gonna love this section here. So into a corkscrew, into an overbank turn, into another corkscrew, but then a twist and then a bank to the left. Come on, that's really smooth. Come on. That's the definition of flow. Into a tunnel, with a bank turn there, it was a photo section, a little small airtime hill like a bunny hop, final overbank turn as we enter the brake run. And then we prepare ourselves for part 2 of this crazy roller coaster. I'm going to turn around again. So once again, when we drop down, we are facing forward. Here we go. Yeah, I notice how the track is like double, so that's looks a bit janky, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, into the black section, so to say. We got this nice little cobra roll with a small tunnel in between. And we have this fly through the station, the fly through, whatever it's called. I'm sure it has a particular, like a specific name. Into like an airtime hill. Here comes a twist. Nice little fast twist here. A little bit of a dip or a bunny hop into our final turn, into a tunnel. And there we go, that's the brake run. Nice. I really like this one. I don't know about you guys, but I love this design so much. So yeah, I had fun designing this. So far, I'm just having an absolute blast with this challenge. It's just awesome to try and make a decent looking ride for every single coaster type in the game. And we are actually quite far. We're up to episode 46. I believe there's like 70. So we're getting kind of close to finishing this, but there's still a decent amount left. So for now, I want to thank you for watching this episode. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have yourself a wonderful day.